And our focus on today's edition of the program is the state of roads in Ekiti State. Recall that in the last 2 weeks, there have been attacks on the state government by some individuals over the deplorable conditions of some federal roads in the state. However, the state governor, Mr. Biodun Oyebanji, has at different fora explained the series of efforts being put in place by both the federal and his administration to ensure that the roads receive attention. This morning, the chief press secretary to the governor, Mr. Yinka Oyebode, is here to further educate the populace on what they need to know about Ekiti Roads. Mr. Oyebode, we are glad to have you on the program this morning.
Good morning. Thank you. And good morning to our listeners at home.
Yes, before we start the discussion in our usual manner, let me quickly update you on some happenings in the country. Last Saturday, by-election took place in 16 constituencies across 12 states of the Federation. It held in 2 senatorial districts, federal constituencies, and 9 state assembly seats. The vacancies arose due to resignation, death, and court-ordered notifications of state and federal lawmakers. While the result of the by-election has started trickling in, yes, as I was saying, while the results of the by-election has started trickling in, vote buying and voter apathy were recorded in some areas, while violence and ballot snatching were also recorded in Ogun State. In the result released by INEC so far, the NPP won in Kano, APC won in Kaduna, Jigawa, Zamfara, Niger, Kogi, Edo, and Ogun States. ABGA won in Anambra, while PDP won in Oyo, Enugu, Taraba. Don't forget, these are by-elections results, and in a nutshell, the party that won are majorly in the ruling party of the respective states. Also in the news today is that the official portal of the Independent National Electoral Commission for online voter registration has been opened. You can now log on to inecnigeria.org for registration, particularly Nigerians who have attained voting age or those who were unable to register in previous exercises. The physical registration is to commence next Monday. And let me stop here and come to our main issue for today, which is the state of roads in Ekiti State. Yes, Mr. CPS, sir, infrastructure development is one of the key focuses of this administration. Now, to what extent has the government delivered good roads to the people?
Thank you very much. Once again, I want to thank the listeners at home also for tuning in at this point. I also want to use the opportunity to thank the entire citizens of Ekiti State for their massive support for the administration of His Excellency Biodun Oyebanji the last almost 3 years now on the saddle. It's been overwhelming. The support has been quite overwhelming, and the understanding has been quite reassuring. We can only thank our people for that. Having said that, I would like to go straight to the issue of infrastructure generally in Ekiti State under the administration of His Excellency Biodun Oyebanji. You will recall that Mr. Governor came in at a time that the entire state was almost cut out from the rest of the country, owing to the deplorable state of some roads, critical roads in the state. And one of the things in the 6 pillars of the administration, infrastructure is a key factor there. And infrastructure, to Mr. Governor, entails the road infrastructure and power infrastructure as well. And from day one, he set out to do that. And you recall that the first thing he did was to actually carry out some palliative measure on some of the bad portions of the roads across the states. And then moved in to ensure that the various roads that have commenced during the immediate past administration were completed. Some of them were just at the level of awards. Either the contractor has been awarded, but maybe the contractor has not been mobilized. In some cases, the contractor have been mobilized for the first phase, and they're yet to get the subsequent phases. And they ensure that all these roads, the contractor were mobilized back to site, had a meeting with them, gave them a deadline, fresh deadline, and a good number of them were mobilized back to site, having assessed the level of what they've done. And in few instances, those who couldn't measure up, it became apparent that this person lacked the capacity to carry on with such a job. Such contracts were terminated right on, and it was re-awarded. And after then, the governor also moving to award some fresh routes to commence across the state. And the whole essence of this is to ensure that people can move from point A to point B without much ado. It is to ease transportation. It is to provide a higher quality of life for people, and to also enhance commercial activities. Because one of the issues is that apart from people plying the roads to move from their homes to their various working places, people also ply essentially for commercial activities, to be able to move their goods and services from one point to another. And it cut across the state. It also to link up with the neighboring states as well. So when you look at the structure of the road infrastructure that Mr. Governor did, it involves, one, the intra-city roads, which is to link one area to another, one street to another. He also did some inter-township roads, which is to link one major town to another. Some of them span 2, 3, 4, 5 towns. Some of them span 2, 3 between one town and the other. Again, the third leg is the rural roads. Okay. These ones are to link the farmsteads to the markets. So these are essentially to enhance agricultural development. This is to enhance even development even in the rural areas. Because in most cases, emphasis are always placed on intercity, interstate, inter-township roads. And under this administration, through the RAM, which is the World Bank, which is being done in partnership with the World Bank, it is to construct 1,000 kilometers of roads. That is the project.
Yes, and we are still coming there.
Yeah, I'm just giving an overview.
Okay.
So
right.
The focus is to also ensure that the roads that have been, that leads to the various farms, are not neglected. So that farmers can actually be able to bring in their produce to the market on time. Most cases, one of the bane of agricultural development in the state is that farm produce sometimes perish in the farm because of poor access to road infrastructure to the market. Now that is being done. If you notice, through RAMP now, several roads have been constructed. And also the state government is also doing intercity routes. In the last 3 years or thereabout, almost 3 years now, no fewer than 35 roads have been constructed. And some of them have been completed, commissioned for use. Some of them have been at a various level of completion. Some of them are 60%, some of them are 90%. And it cuts across all the 3 centurial districts.
Yes, from data available, you said about 35 roads have been awarded by this government. Some of them completed, some of them ongoing. Can you let us know some of the township roads that have been delivered, and in few that are still ongoing?
Yeah, if you look at within the township road, one of them was even commissioned by the vice president.
Okay.
When he came around there last year June, that's talking about Achimbandiri Deeper Life at Shia Road.
Okay.
Long stretch that bus to Ikere Road over there was commissioned by the vice president when he came around in June last year. We also talk about the Agricolokwe Muferere Road in Ekiti. You also talk about the GRA third extension road behind NT. You need to go to that place now. It's like a mini London. That's our GRA. And now the road network that have been fixed.
Was the road accompanied with some lighting, or why is it
every road project under the building above me, Oyebanji, comes with electrification, and that's the hallmark of the road construction. Because one of the cardinal principles is to be able to ensure a better nightlife also in the Ekiti State, to ensure security of life and properties. When the environment is illuminated, life is better secured, properties are better secured. People of shady characters will not be able to perform their enterprise. And that's one of the cardinal principles, that every road, go and check. Every road that I've mentioned here, go and check them. They come with electrification. So all the roads, the ones that I've mentioned, the GRA road, all of them come with electrification. So they go there, anytime from 5 p.m., anytime from 6 o'clock, the light goes up. and the environment is illuminated so people can travel. And that is a remarkable thing under this administration that has helped in reducing insecurity. If you notice, the environment is well secured, okay? Apart from the fact that through agriculture too, we have been able to cultivate more lands. Most of the forests that all these kidnappers and hoodlums use for their hideouts have become farmlands, okay? The environment, the roads are okay for very motorable now, and then the electrification of the major roads that has reduced insecurity. Okay. Added to that is the fact that the government has also been able to support logistical support to the security agencies and been able to beef up the security architecture in the state. So talking about the road infrastructure, you also talk about of the major roads that has reduced insecurity.
Right, sir.
You also talk about the Obiseson Okeala Bashiri Road, the Head Faglo Junction Road, Bashiri, Ado Ekiti. The alternative route to mudslide areas along Ado Ilawe Road. The Ilawe Regional Link Road, the Ilawe Gede Road, and the rehabilitation of Ilawe Regional Road. These are some of the roads. You also talk about the Iloro Ijuri, Temidiri, Ajegunle Ekiti Road. These are roads that cut across. Okay. Some of them are intra, and some of them are linking one town to another.
I was about to say that the roads we are talking about all are domiciled in Ado. I don't know. Okay,
I've just mentioned Ijuri Road. Okay. I'm talking about the Kole Araisibode Road too, because I have a lot of people sometimes speaking out of ignorance, saying that development is concentrated in Ado Ekiti alone. No, I've just mentioned some roads outside. All the central districts under the building above me, imagine development is evenly distributed. It is to ensure that every community gets something, every local government gets something, and it's so easy. Every year the governor have interaction with the people, and don't forget it's quarterly stakeholders engagement also. So the people are able to tell the governor what they want. So when Mr. Governor says he has done everything that he has promised the people, he knows what he's saying. That is the truth, because he has a contract with the people during the electioneering campaign and also during the various stakeholders engagement. This is what I will do for this community. This is what we'll do for this town. This is what we'll do for this town. This is what we'll do for this area. And has been able to do that. At least almost 95%.
Okay, before we move ahead, let me quickly remind our listeners and those that are viewing us on Facebook that you can connect us via our Facebook page at Ekiti State Radio. That is our Facebook page. And I have a comment there already. And this one is coming from Oba Matthew, GCFR. He says, "Good morning, Ekiti Radio. Some people are playing politics with federal roads in Ekiti State. Imagine federal government appointee criticizing President Tinubu because of his inordinate ambition. Federal roads in Ekiti State are not as bad as the ones in our neighboring state. Ekiti people understand the game and the game that desperate politicians are playing with road infrastructure. Bao is doing well in Ekiti." And okay, yes, that is coming from Obama to GCFR. We are still coming to the issue of federal roads, but let's move ahead with this state road that we are still talking about. Mr. Oyebode, let's talk about the social and economic values of this road that you just mentioned. What are the social and economic importance to Ekiti people?
They are very massive.
Okay,
I was watching a program last week, and one of the things that you achieve with good road network is that it enhances commercial activities. It empowers the people. Apart from the fact that when you are doing road construction, you are creating employment side by side. You are also boosting commercial activities. You are also enhancing the spending power of the people. Ask me why.
Okay.
Because number one, the administration of building Ibaji has a local content law that also shows that contracts that can be handled by Ekiti contractors should be given to Ekiti contractors. And contracts that are given to all these major names in contracting firms, there's also a component that they should also source their materials locally and also hire the workers locally. So as we're constructing more roads, the administration is also enhancing employment for the youth.
And blocking capital flight, so to say.
Blocking capital flight, because now materials are sourced locally. Manpower is sourced locally, and also contractors that have the demonstrated capacity, who are local contractors, they're also given jobs to do. So you see contractors that are based in Ekiti State, also competing favorably with their counterpart from different parts of the country for jobs, for road construction and other contracts in Ekiti State because of the local content law. And also because of deliberate policy of the administration for shared prosperity for the people to ensure that prosperity spread across. So if a contractor comes there and employs people in the locality to work and also sources materials from the local environment, it enhances commercial activity. Added to that is the fact that people are able to move freely. Places that normally would take you 1 hour, 1.5 hours to take, under 20 minutes, other 25 minutes, other 15 minutes, some under 10 minutes, you are there. And that means you are able to transact your business and quickly go back to where you come from. Even people coming from outside the state, when they come to the state, if they're going to any part of the state, they have access to go to the places, do their business. If they need to return, they return. If they need to stay over, they stay over. So the economic activity, the economic gains of it is huge on the part of the people. And if you see, it has also shown in the various economic indices of the state. The spending power of the people has increased. Economic activities has increased tremendously in Ekiti State, cut across. You just need to check that because now shops can now open for as long as they can. People can patronize. People are moving from other neighboring states even to the state. One, because of security. Two, because of the environment that is conducive and the peace in the state.
Okay, because of our time, let's quickly move ahead. And like I told our listeners earlier, we are live on Facebook page at Ekiti State Radio. Yes, when you were talking the other time, we talked about RAMP. Many people will not know the meaning of RAMP. Let me quickly say the RAMP is the Rural Access Agricultural Market Project. RAMP is another project of the government. The government is undertaking in partnership with the federal government and the World Bank. Now, sir, Mr. CPS, to what extent has this implementation been? The RAMP project in partnership with which is the state government and partnership with...
I told you earlier on that the RAMP project is designed to construct 1,000 kilometers of rural roads. And all the major feature of this rural road is must link to the farm and also link the farm to the market. Okay? So these are roads that normally in 100 years' time, maybe nobody will ever think about them. But under this arrangement that is focused on being able to link the farms to the market, at least 1,000 kilometers of road that will be done. 18 roads have been contracted out under this arrangement, and there are different stages of completion as I speak to you. Okay? And if I mention some of them, you'll be wondering where are these located? Because these are not the regular roads that you and I apply every day. But this is where the food comes from. This is where the food that we all go to the market to buy come from. The farms are being linked to the market so that people can have free access. You talk about the NOD junction. Itaiku Girigiri is an 8.4 kilometer road. There is the Omission Janon Benfolarin to Okeaso Street. It's a 5.70 kilometer of road. There is Afulu Odofin Road, 1.93 kilometer road. There is Owode to Anoye Road, it's a 2.85 kilometer road. There's Erimokwe to Irare Ikosun Road, 6.68 kilometer road. There's Ara Ekameta School Road, 2.05 kilometer road. There's Lupeju to Igboegon to Ayede Road, 3.1 kilometer road. There's FMS Okeaku Road. And there's Ikogosi, Abaosun, Abaori Okuta to Ikogosi. There's Ijero, Ekpe to Araromi Ropora Road. There is a Kole to Ikoyi Igbemo Road, 20.00 kilometer. There's Abekoko Ijarigbin Road. There's Agbado Ejisun to Ipole Iseru. These are roads that, as I call them out, probably you've not heard about it before.
I think but Agbado.
Agbado. But they are adding great value to the economic development of the state. And that's why the economic development plans of the Bioda Bayomi gives everybody something. So to the people that are living and working in this rural area, this is their own benefits. To be able to move their goods down to the market on time and be able to go back to farm on time as well. Because road infrastructure is very key to them. And that's why this is just 18 that have been awarded. And this covers about almost 300 kilometers. And we're still going to 1,000 kilometers. So that means more contracts will also be announced and be awarded before the end of the year to cover all this. So at the end of the day, by the end of the program, we're looking at having at least 1,000 kilometers covered. basically rural roads.
Okay, now we've talked about the state roads and we've talked about the ones being done in partnership with with RAMP. Before then, let me quickly take these messages on our Facebook page. I have one from Festus Kayode. He says, I passed through Ikongosi and Igbaraudo to Ekiti Road, very smooth. And this one is saying, good morning, Ekiti Radio, well done, CPS. You are saying the truth. I don't know why people are not applying smooth alternative routes provided by the state government. Governor Ibanji has done well in constructing rural roads in Ekiti, and testimonies abound. Governor Ibanji is a blessing to Ekiti State. From Bale Atikonkan. Yes, you can keep your messages coming in on our Facebook page at Ekiti State Radio. Now, having talked about the state roads and the one being done in partnership with RAMP, let's talk about federal road now. What has the Oyebanji administration been doing in addressing the deplorable state of this infrastructure?
Thank you very much. And I'm happy you mentioned the fact that it's federal government roads. Okay? So in Nigeria, and everybody knows that we practice federal system of government in Nigeria, so some roads belong to the federal government. Some roads are also categorized as state-owned. Okay? In Ekiti State, and I think the responsibility of every government, first and foremost, is also focus on what's within your jurisdiction. You have to focus on what is within your jurisdiction. So the primary roads that are the responsibility of the state government are the state roads. So the focus of the state road, first and foremost, which involves the state road, the intercity road, the interstate road that we mentioned, the intercity road, the intertownship road, and the intra-city road that we talk about, and even this rural road that I mentioned. But even under the building of Oyebanji, because of the fact that you understand that it is the people mainly that pass through these roads, even though we have people coming from different parts of the country, because roads are also banned in some other parts of the country. So they diverted their traffic towards us because of our good network of road. Let us mark that. And that's one thing I want all these content creators who are masquerading as politicians or aspirants should note. There's a difference between content creation and political aspiration and governance. The administration of Biodan Aboyeme does not joke with development. So essentially, it's tackling every road that is within its jurisdiction effectively. And that's why you are talking about roads that cut across. The Igbaraudu Road, the Kere Isemuri Road, the Taure Okemesi Road, the Uri Agiri Joka Okeagu Road, different roads like that have been done. The Okeayedu Ekpao Okeaku Irili Road that cut across the south, the north, and the central senatorial districts. They have been fixed. Even there is a ring road that's going on, almost 99% completed, which is also to provide an access to link the north to the state capital, and the second phase is to also link the state capital to the southern senatorial district. The first phase is almost at 98% completion. It will be commissioned from now for use. These are some of the efforts that government is putting in place. You can talk about the Okeyimi flyover, which is the second flyover in Ekiti, which is to control traffic congestion in that axis. But that is the mainstream business district in Ekiti. So these are the various efforts that government has put in place to ease movement, to ease mobility, and to ensure that the cities and the township roads are okay and they're actually decent for living. Now, when you talk about the federal government, the state government has also provided some alternative routes to some of these routes that people are talking about. So, for instance, people are talking about Aramoko, Itaure Road to Ado-Ekiti.
Maybe before you go on that, continue on that, talking about, we are still coming to the alternative route being provided by the state government. But now we want to know what the state government has been doing to ensure the federal routes.
Number one,
because I understand the state government made this
that's great.
Motorable.
Let me say this: there are 6 major federal government roads in Ekiti State.
Okay.
What the state government has been able to do is able to work collaboratively with the federal government to ensure that this work are done. And through this collaboration, we have been able to assure that at least 3 of those roads have been awarded.
3.
3 of those roads have been awarded by the federal government, and it is through this lobbying, this working with the National Assembly members to ensure that these roads are captured and the contractors are given out to contractors. There might be 1 or 2 itches, like the Ado-Ijo Road, which Mr. Governor talked about on Friday, that there are some itches that made the contractor to abandon site, and that is being resolved with a view to bringing him back to site. Okay? And there is one of the 6 roads that have been filled by the state government. This Ifaki Road. It's a federal government road, dualized road. Government has expended over 15 billion on that road. Now that is a serious government that wants to be able to also say, okay, having taken care of my own responsibility, having taken care of the roads that are out within my jurisdiction, this is a very important road. I can at least fix this one. And what the people should know, and I think all these jesters that come around, trying to call themselves aspirants, politicizing the federal road issue. All thing they should know also is that there is a policy by the federal government that you cannot fix their roads and get reimbursement.
Okay, well, I was about to ask, how about the reimbursement for...
We are not like to get the reimbursement. But like I said, the Building Aboyomi government, being a compassionate government, under the leadership of the government is a compassionate leader. Even though he knows the chances that he will get reimbursement for the road is almost nil, but he has committed funds to the road to fix it. Imagine if federal government will reimburse. Such reimbursement could also be used to fix other roads. But the chances that it will be reimbursed is almost nil. But the governor is not disturbed by that. He said, okay, let's fix this road. And let us also collaborate with federal government to draw their attention to other roads. And through that collaboration, 3 of the roads have been awarded. One of them, this notorious Itawure Aramoko to Ekiti, we have, through his collaboration with the National Assembly member, we have a commitment that they will ensure that it makes it to the next year budget. Okay? And what I also want people to know, there is an agency called FEMA. It's a federal government agency.
Yes.
This agency is to fix federal government roads, to do palliatives on federal government roads. One other thing that all these aspirants, so-called aspirants, should also know before they do their next content creation, is to note that once the federal government has contracted out a particular road, there's nothing anybody can do about it. So if you have already, the Federal Executive Council has already approved it, a contractor has been approved, he has been mobilized to site. How do you think state government can come in? Will he go and give it out as another contract, a parallel contract? Will he go out of his way to go and mobilize the contractor that has been mobilized? Or will he go and mobilize another contractor to have 2 contractors on a particular road? These are questions that I expect the citizens to ask all these jesters, calling themselves aspirant, politicizing the issue of the road. They need to understand it, that a contract has been awarded. A contract is a legal entity. It has become a legal document. The contractor has award letter, that's well gazetted. He can present the award letter to the bank and take money. His document is at the Accountant General's office, at the Federal Accountant General's office, at the Federal Ministry of Finance. So at the appropriate time, he will be reimbursed. He will be given money to go to do his work. How can the state government come in again? So the only thing state government can do is his own role. For instance, this Akure Ikere to Ado-Ekiti Road. Do you know the state government has just paid close to 400 million as our own support? Because for every federal government that passed through your state when it's being constructed, it is the state that pays the compensation. So Governor Building Aboyomi has paid the compensation for the various properties that were displaced in Ikere to pave the way for the road to get to Ikere. He has paid that one. So these are the little way you can collaborate with the federal government to ensure the federal government presence in the state. Every support that the federal government requires on his road is being given to them. Every step that the governor should take to ensure that the roads, federal government's road in the states are motorable, are well-free, is being taken by His Excellency Building Aboyomi, including going to the Federal Ministry of Housing, Federal Ministry of Wars, collaborating with committees on wars. You've seen so many interfaces of Mr. Governor. He goes to Abuja, meets all our federal lawmakers, and together they go around to lobby ministers, to lobby house committees. That is why we have been able to get the attention of the federal government to even award these 3 roads. And I'm telling you authoritatively that he had paid close to 400 million for compensation on the Ado-Ikere Akure Road.
And that shows the commitment of the
That shows
state
the
government.
commitment on the state government to ensure that, look, whatever it's expected of us, we will do it.
Yes, talking about content creation, some content creators are in Ekiti State. A few weeks ago,
There are
they
two
were
types
talking
of content creators now in Ekiti State.
Okay.
Some call themselves politicians, but they are actually content creators.
And the ones that we know, this clear.
I'm telling you
okay.
this. I'm going. That there are two types of content creators in Ekiti State now.
Okay.
Some are politicians and they call themselves aspirants, but in reality, they are content creators. Because why do I call them content creators? Rather than approach their campaign with dignity, with facts and figures, they go to, some even go as far as going to neighboring states to take photographs of bad schools or bad roads, and they say it's from Ekiti State. Some stay in the corners of their room and they put on the ring light and they post all manners of things against the state that they aspire to lead. What kind of leader does that? And there's another category of content creators who are actually content creators or script makers who are being hired by some scrupulous elements to come and deride and politicize the issue of road infrastructure. Right? But either way, whether the real content creators, whether the pseudo content creators who are politicians who are masquerading as content creators, it is important that you understand this. It's a simple issue of governance. And there are roads that are so-called federal government roads, and there are some that belong to the state. And in Ekiti State, the government is doing its best to ensure that all the stores within its jurisdiction are in good shape. And you have seen, I've called almost 34 roads.
Yes.
And a state government, look at a state like Ekiti State that has over almost 140 towns and villages. So imagine the number of roads in Ekiti State. And the federal government also has about 6 roads. The state government, under the leadership of Biona Aboyimba, has fixed one. And he's doing his best to draw the attention of the government to the remaining ones. And through this effort, 3 have been awarded. And at the appropriate time, various issues surrounding them have been resolved through his collaboration with the National Assembly members, who we must give kudos to, have been very supportive of this administration. Each time Sagono goes to Abuja to meet them, they hold meetings, and they go from one office to another to knock on doors of committees that are responsible for certain developmental projects of the federal government in the state. And that's why we have been able to see some attention, you can say. And we must also give kudos to the president. We must tell Mr. President, in Ekiti State, where we have 6 roads, 3 have been awarded. That is a great day. Okay? And that's why, Mr. Governor, we never cease and appreciate Mr. President, that his economic policies have freed so much money into the state and been able to do some development project with it. And we're thankful to the president, and we're thankful to the people of Ekiti State for their understanding. And we're using the opportunity, I'm using the opportunity to tell the naysayers and those who want to continue to politicize the issue of road that they should go and do a little research. There's what is called federal government road, and that was called the state road. And in Ekiti State, the state roads are not suffering. They are receiving the desired attention.
Okay, because of our time is fast spent. We have less than 10 minutes more, but let me quickly take this message from our Facebook page coming from Oloye Jekonsi. Kudos to Governor Bao for doing a great job in the area of road infrastructure and other key sectors. Please, sir, someone needs to address our traffic officers on the need to ease traffic congestion in our township roads instead of chasing Okada riders for petty monies, since there is massive construction ongoing in Ado-Ekiti. All right, I think the appropriate quarter will get that message. And yes, the other time, sir, you were talking about the alternative routes that people can apply instead of these deplorable federal government roads.
Yes, thank you very much. Before I go to that, let me also put it on record. In the issue of Ekiti State, there's no administration that have fixed as many roads as the Biona Aboyimba administration. And I stand to be controverted on this. Because if you look at the distribution of this road, it cut across various senatorial districts of the town, and they are very important roads. A colleague of mine traveled from Abuja to Ado-Ekiti last week. Guess the road he took? He took the Ikole Araisibode road as a bypass to avoid the bad portion on the more important roads. So these are alternative routes that the administration of Biona Aboyimba has been able to put in place to ensure that people actually, the whole essence of mobility. It's for you to get to the place we're going on time and safely. It does not really matter whether it's federal government route or whether the state government road that you apply. However, one would have loved that every road is made motorable. Yeah. But also have to look at the issue of budgeting. Okay, so if the federal government has not budgeted a particular road, there's nobody that can fix it. And if it has actually budgeted and awarded a particular road, there's nothing anybody can do. Because I've seen a lot of people say, why don't you use your money there to go and fix this one? No. Perhaps if the policy of reimbursement is still on, maybe after we have collected this one, it could be put on another road. And one other thing people must know, state government cannot put a toll gate. You cannot toll a federal government road. So even if you fix it, you cannot toll it. You can only toll your road. So these are the various constraints that the state government has. And it's not peculiar to the state. I challenge people to go to other neighboring states, other states, and you see it also. Okay. So what the state government has been able to do, apart from lobbying and ensuring that federal government's attention is fixed, and also collaborating with federal government to ensure adequate attention on the roads, it has created alternative. So if you're coming from Lagos, any part of the state, you can move through Efon, Ipole, Ikogosi to Region, then to Ilawe, to Ekiti. Very smooth road. Very smooth road. Then if you're coming from Akure, you can move from Akure, Igbaraoke, Igbaraudo, Ilawe, Ekiti Road. And even when you get to Igbara, you have options. You can even from Igbara move towards Ikogosi. From Igbara, move towards Ilawe. You know, from Ilawe to Igede. These are road driving made as alternative. From Abuja, Kaba, Irun Akoko, Iru Ekiti, Isimbode, Ikole, Igbemo, Ekiti Ring Road. From Ekiti Ring Road, you bust, you bypass so many other places. So it's not as if we're cut off. I also want to use the opportunity to appeal to our transporters, because I've spoken with some commuters, and they say sometimes they even beg some drivers to take the new routes, but they still prefer the old route bad, because no less of this, I say these are the places that they are used to way back. But an appeal to them: try the new routes, and you'll be glad that you did.
Okay, that's all been said about roads in Ekiti State. Before we bring the program to a close because of our time, and maybe you can take one or two calls before we leave this leave on the program this morning. To our listeners and viewers on Facebook at home, you can get us connected. You can connect us on Facebook at Ekiti State Radio and leave your comment there. We'll read. Yes, we would like you to talk about the sack of majority of members of the state cabinet. What makes it different from such occurrence at the federal and other state? Okay.
Point of correction.
Okay.
Not sack.
Okay.
Cabinet dissolution.
Okay, let me put that way. Dissolution of cabinet by the present administration. You know, we've seen the governor of Ebonyi suspend 25 commissioners. We've seen governors of other states do one or two things to their commissioners. And but people, there are some people in Ekiti are reading political minutes to this. What do you have to say to the dissolution of?
I just want to tell, just appeal to our people not to read any political meaning to this. It's the normal governance procedure. Okay, I've seen some administration, they even do cabinet reshuffle like 2-3 times within the lifespan. And this is the first time Mr. Governor is doing a cabinet dissolution. Dissolution sometimes precede cabinet reconstitution. Okay, it's about cabinet reshuffle. And cabinet reshuffle is the normal thing, it's a proper thing in governance. You probably think, okay, we have reached half time, or we have moved beyond half time, that I need to inject fresh blood, I need to strategize, let somebody who is playing this particular role go and try this particular role. Let somebody who has played this particular role with some measure of appreciable success should come in and play in this particular role. And okay, it's also an opportunity for you to say, okay, you have not done very well, maybe you will not come back. But let me tell you something, it is within the right of Mr. Governor. He is the one that has the team. He's the one that assembled the team ab initio. And he knows the role that each person has played. And he knows that, okay, at this point, I want you to move from this particular MDA, come to this particular MDA. Okay, I want you to leave that particular MDA. I want you to add some responsibility to your role because of your demonstrated capacity. It could be for various reasons. And go to, you just need to go back to history in Ekiti State. The previous administration, we've had it. Some had 3 cabinet reshuffle. You know, some had 2. Is a normal thing. At the federal level, it's a normal thing. Cabinet reshuffle is a normal thing. So I want to appeal to our people not to read any political meaning to it. It's a proper thing. And at the appropriate time, there will be a follow-up in terms of cabinet reconstitution.
Okay. All right, let me quickly roll out the numbers to that to be part of the program this morning. The number to that to be part of the program this morning is 081. All right, I have a call coming in already. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from, please. Okay, go ahead with your contribution.
Oh, I so much love the way our presenter has actually presented the he has actually said the truth about the government of the governor has actually tried, and the way people are describing these aspirants, the way they are carrying their electoral campaign is not mature enough. They should tell us what they want to do and not to criticize and not to condemn the government, the current government. As far as I'm concerned, the governor is still trying. At least he's doing the network road in the state. And as far as I'm concerned, the governor is actually trying.
All right.
And
Thank
all
you.
what the analyst has said is very true and factual.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for your contributions. Yes, the number to dial to be part of the program this morning, 081-301-32097. The number again, 081-301-32097.
Let me just add this, and I want to appreciate the last caller. And an appeal is an appeal, and I want to also reinforce the appeal to the aspirant that I would rather want to see an aspirant coming out to say what they can do differently. So I've just said it here that under the administration of Biodun Aboyemi in the last 3 years, at least 35 roads have been done. Some completed and some at various levels. I want to see an aspirant come out and say within his own first year, he'll be able to do so number of roads.
That 5 state roads, that 5 state roads, that 5 state inter.
That cut across.
What about the ramp road?
The ramp road, 18 have been awarded.
So altogether,
so we are looking at almost 50-something roads so far.
Okay.
So far within 3 years. And the interesting thing is that it's ongoing. Only 2 weeks, the ESCO approved 2 roads also, including that of Ido to Idoile to Kimezi Road. Was awarded. Approved and awarded. Okay. So which means before the end of the year, more roads will be awarded, more that development will be rolled out.
Okay. Hello, good morning. Move away from the radio side.
Yes, good morning.
Move away from the radio side, please. Move away from the radio side. Move away from the radio side, please. Okay, go ahead with your contribution. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
This one is student service.
Okay, go ahead with your contributions.
Thank you so much. I want to advise. You see, people are listening to us, even outside this country. People are listening to us. So, our speaker, I want to appeal to him to please. He knows the right words to choose to use. Come out with connect unscrupulous.
We will not allow that on this program. We will not allow that on this program. He has not said unscrupulous. Please listen attentively to the program. We will not allow that. Yes, as you were about to say something before. Okay, our time is gone already, but let me just have your parting word on the program, Mr. CPS, this morning.
Thank you very much. My parting word is that Ekiti people want to thank you once again for your support for the administration of Biodun Aboyemi. I want to encourage you to continue to support this administration so they can deliver more dividends of democracy. The governor has been able to do this much because of our support in the area of infrastructure development, in the area of human capital development, in the area of industrialization, which time would not permit us to talk about. The area of health facilities, healthcare delivery, he has been able to do this much because of our support. I just want to encourage us to continue to support the administration so that we can witness more development as we coasting to the 3rd year and the 4th year of the administration. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Yinka Oyebode has been our guest on the program this morning, and he is the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor of Ekiti State, Mr. Yinka Oyebode. Thank you very much for coming on the program this morning.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
All right, listener out there, this is how far we were able to go on the program this morning. And before I go, let me leave you with this message. Do unto others as we have them do unto you, because positions are transient and life is a circle. My name is Ademola Adeleke. Enjoy the rest of the week.